And let's talk about Karamo, because Karamo is apparently going through it over there at with this whole queer eye thing. And I guess maybe at this point, because Queer Eye is coming to an end after 10 years, that he feels like I don't feel any obligation to fulfill any of the contracts of having to show up, put a smile on my face, excuse me, and pretend that everything is hunky dory with with the cast. And it kind of got me wondering. I was like, with all this stuff that's coming out with Karamo and allegedly maybe that, he's dealing with a lot and stuff over there. I mean, he's kind of feeling like Bobby Burke. Because remember when Bobby Burke was talking about a lot of the problematic stuff that was going on with the show? So Karamo said, I'm tired of faking the funk. So Karamo Brown made a clear statement on Tuesday, January 20th, when he opted to skip multiple morning show interviews alongside his Queer Eye co-stars Anthony Porowski, Tan France, Jonathan Van Ness, and Jeremiah Brent. CBS morning anchor Gayle King first shared the news that Brown, 45, had pulled out of his appearance an hour before it aired, releasing a statement as to what led to his decision. Now, we have that clip, and then I got the other clip. Hold on, because the one thing I hate is that if you don't get to a clip long enough, it starts to refresh, and then you got to position every damn thing so that it all ends up working. So hold on, I got to fix everything now because I knew it was going to happen. We're going to play this clip of him, with Gayle King first, and then we'll play the other clip where he was supposed to be on, I believe, NBC, and said something completely different. Please hold.
From the very first episode.
Oh, hold on. I done hit
a little more fabulous. Oh. Just trying to sit up in my chair a little straighter today. I really worked on my outfit today.
We all were like, what should we wear to make sure that we're not...
They're watching.
They're watching. Are my eyebrows good?
I know. My skin moisturizes. Experts in style, grooming, interior design, culture, food, and drink. They have transformed the lives of, quote, everyday heroes.
Here they go. Y'all just can't take 5 minutes without being a gay damn stereotype. Anyway, let's get back to the clip.
Tomorrow, Netflix dropped Queer Eye's 10th and final season, single tier. This time, they are making their mark on our nation's capital.
Queer Eye's never been about fixing people. It's about meeting them where they are.
For our final season, we are in the eye of the storm.
We are in D.C. because our country is in turmoil right now.
We stopped talking to one another. Everybody's got their brand of cynicism. Culture has shifted. What's appropriate is different. What isn't appropriate is very different. But the message has always been the same. It's always been about connecting with other people that we don't understand.
No, and connect they did. We're happy to say Tan Francis here, Jonathan Van Ness, Jeremiah Brent, Anthony Porowski join us now in the studio. And as you can see, we call it Fab Five, but one of the Fab Five is not here. We received word just in less than an hour ago that Karamo Brown is not going to be joining us today. He said in part, because I want to rip the Band-Aid off and just get it out of the way so we can really talk about the show. He sent a statement. He apologized for not attending this interview. He thanked the audience. He said in part, I hope everyone remembers to focus on and to protect their mental health, peace from people or a world who seek to destroy it, which is why I can't be there today. His assistant also says that he's worried about being bullied. So let's just address it and get it off the top. I was very sorry to hear this, that he apparently feels this way. What do any of you have to say? You're as surprised as we are. I assume that he wasn't here.
I think, yeah, surprise is a fair understatement. I will say our Queer Eye family, we've been doing this for almost a decade, which is pretty wild to believe. Mm-hmm. And families are complicated.
Yes.
And we're definitely not excluded from that. But I think two things can exist at the same time. And while that is definitely true, we're also here to showcase these incredible heroes that we have and really honor the legacy of this past decade of our lives and all these wonderful heroes that we've had the blessing of getting to meet and to have conversations with.
Can I just say one quick thing?
Jeremiah.
Obviously, I'm the new gal.
Yes. You're the new gal.
I am the new gal.
Welcome.
Thank you. I just want to say, and I'm not going to get choked up. My experience in this group has been transformative. To see the way that they move through the world, the way that they have the way that they have taught me so much about life and friendship and love. I have felt safe and supported by the people up here. I've loved every second of this thing, and I am so excited that we get to do this and share this next season because the show really is just about highlighting the best of humanity.
Yes.
And that's really what it is, and nobody needs that more than this country right
That's the constant theme in the show, but I don't think we can negate how Karamo feels.
No.
Does anybody have anything to say to him specifically? Because I do want to get to the show in the 10 seasons, because I watched all the last season.
I would say one thing that I've been so honored to learn from Karamo in my time is it's just like he said in that package, we have to meet people where they're at.
Yes.
And he has taught people to center what they need. And I'm actually really proud of him. Center what you need, do the things you need to do to take care of you. I'd be lying if I didn't feel like that sometimes.
Yes.
And so I think it's really beautiful. And I think we do need to center what's best for us sometimes. And my hat off to him for doing that today.
All right.
So we don't need to go through the whole thing because I'm not sitting here for 8 minutes to hear them talk about a show I don't watch. But I will say this, that I'm glad that Karamo has come out and be like, you know what, whatever issues he got going on in his life, he wants to center himself. He wants to put his peace of mind or whatever the case is before anything else. And I'm definitely curious to find out like what is the real tea of what's going on. Like, why? So now you've opened up a can of worms, and what's going to happen now is that we're going to have the sleuths out here sleuthing. And I got to start doing my digging to find out, okay, so has there been situations going on behind the scenes where you're not getting along with certain? Because Anthony came out and said something. Jonathan came out and said, why do I think Tan is probably the one that was the issue? Because remember, at one point, Bobby Burke had an issue with Tan. Why do I think Tan might be the problem? Because you know them British girls, y'all be always trying to come out of pocket with certain things. So I would not be surprised if he was probably the region with probably look like some of the things he says or whatever. I don't want to necessarily put it off on him, but I'm just thinking like you probably was the one out here that was getting up on the Karamo situation. And Karamo was like, I've been playing nice because I'm glad I'm getting a cute little check or whatever the case is because of Netflix and the obligations. Now the shit is done. I don't have to sit up here and kiss y'all ass and kiki with you bitches if I don't have to anymore. I did the show. Yes, you need to make the show about the people that you were highlighting or whatever the case is, but I'm not out here trying to pretend anymore. Especially in this climate where everybody doing what all the crazy shit that they doing. So I'm not gonna play into it. So I totally understand. But let's get into this clip. So now the Today Show, Karamo actually sent a clip over there on why he's not there. So let's get into that clip and then we'll come back and talk. Please hold.
We received an email from Karamo's assistant this morning, which said in part, quote, Karamo has felt mentally and emotionally abused for years, and he's been advised by his therapist to protect himself and his peace by not attending. But he did send this video. Take a look.
Hey, Jen and Chanel, congratulations on becoming the most amazing duo on daytime TV. I just want to say thank you to all the fans who supported us and rocked with us for 10 seasons. This new season is going to be amazing. You're going to love every minute of it. And just like the themes of this season, I'm modeling what I believe is most important, which I want to remind you all. Love yourselves and protect yourselves. That's why I'm here at home and not there. But continue to watch the show. The crew worked on it and did an amazing job. I want to shout out to the crew. I want to shout out to all the fans. I want to shout out to the executives from Netflix. Thank you for having me for 10 seasons.
We received an email from Karamo's assistant this morning, which said in part, quote, Karamo has felt mentally and emotionally abused for years, and he's been advised by his therapist to protect himself and his peace by not attending. But he did send this video. Take a look.
Hey, Jen and Chanel, congrats.
All right, so I just wanted to give it a second to pause it there. We can leave it on Karamo. It's just me. Why it look like Karamo might be a little swollen? Like, I don't know if you put on weight or you doing fillers, but I'm sorry, black don't crack. Now, the one that could use some fillers was Jeremiah, because I was looking at his age when I was when they focused on him. Child, why he look exhausted? Because he looked like, oh yeah, they put him through the ringer. He only get 2 hours a day of sleep. That boy was born November 24th, 1984. That makes him 41 years old. Child, why are you aging like rotten milk? And I used to think Jeremiah was a cutie back in the day. Back when I first came across Jeremiah was when he replaced Brad Goretzky over on the Rachel Zoe show. Remember when she had the Rachel Zoe? Look, I'm taking y'all back. Back when he was on the Rachel Zoe project, he was the new assistant. When Brad left, because Brad, I guess, was feeling, in the words of my girl Mylene de Verga, his goats. So he wound up going over trying to do his own thing, and he doing what he doing, because we don't know what happened with Canada's drag race. But he's out here doing his thing, whatever the case was. And now Karamo said he's been emotionally abused and all this other stuff for years. And I'm sitting there like, well, child, I need you to start naming names, because now we all gonna be up in your business, because now you made it our business. And now this is what has got me wondering. Do y'all think, because it still ain't gonna get me to move the needle no way, do y'all think that with all of this pricing, all this coming out now and everything, that it's gonna get y'all to want to watch Queer Eye just to see if there was any kind of awkwardness or shift in tone or whatever the case is in this situation? I don't look, no shade. I don't feel it's gonna change my outlook on it regardless, because I could care less about a bunch of gay people coming and being stereotypes and trying to make straight lives better. I don't care. We need more commentary or shows on TV that is a representation of our community. Not you trying to do we're here instead of drag queens, you got homosexuals out here trying to make straight lives matter. So I'm not interested in that. But in the comments, One person said the toxicity behind the scenes on that show, we need a documentary one day. Holly Robinson P came was like, said, what I miss. Oh, she being messy. Now, another person said, anyone notice how he, I was like, the hell was that? I'm probably not into something. Then another person said, anyone notice how he thanked everyone but the other four members of Queer Eye, side eye. And then they posted that legendary picture of Nene painting and giving the side eye look. Another person said, honestly, he always seems unwell. Ooh, let me find out Karamo going through some things. Well, look, if he mentally stable enough to do that Maury S talk show over there on WP on Pixel 11, then he mentally well enough to do allegedly the the queer eye. But sometimes you homosexuals, y'all can be emotionally draining and mentally draining. So another person said that was a whole subliminal conversation. He said a lot without saying it. Well, that's typically Karamo. He always says a whole lot without saying anything. One person said, I had a horrible supervisor, and my doctor sent a letter and said if my supervisor wasn't changed immediately, she would put me on 3 to 6 months bed rest because my blood pressure was at stroke level. She also wrote that she recommended that I seek legal counsel within 48 hours, assigned to the best supervisor I've had my entire working career. Protect your peace. So, and I think right now my sister's going through some mess with her current job. Now she's moving into nursing, whatever. But with her current job where she works and the Board of Education, she's dealing with toxic ass bosses and is now on a month sabbatical because she's like, I had an anxiety attack or whatever the case. So she's going through her mess too, dealing with toxic ass bosses. And yeah, if your boss is gonna be doing whatever, call their ass out. But I just hope that, with this show ending, let's not take the more diplomatic Hollywood approach. If Karamo ain't gonna come out with the tea, all I'll say is us sleuths will be paying attention and doing a little digging and finding out. So yeah, because remember, we also talked about what they was about, Bobby Burke, where he announced his exit from Queer Eye after 8 seasons. And during a 2024 interview with Vanity Fair, he discussed some of the drama within the Fab Five. Said, Tan and I had a moment, he said, of France at the time. There was a situation, and that's between Tan and I, and it has nothing to do with the show. It was something personal that had been brewing and nothing romantic, just to clarify that. Should I have unfollowed Tan? No. Maybe I should have just muted him. But that day I was angry, and that's the end of it. We became like siblings, and siblings are always going to fight. Yeah, because remember at one point they were promoting Queer Eye, and he tagged Tan in I think on an Instagram chat page he barely uses. And then but wait a minute, if y'all supposed to be close friends, if y'all supposed to be good Judies, why you don't use the regular one they would use? And he's like, well, then it came out he blocked them. So I blame Tan until we find out otherwise. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? I will definitely keep abreast of this homosexual drama as it continues to unfold because this show is juicy. And now you got me invested, even though I don't care about the show, but I like Karamo. I've been, not I know him personally, but I've been aware of Karamo since he was on The Real World. So I've been following his career ever since. And, with 2 people now talking about the toxicity behind the scenes at Queer Eye, it's definitely piqued my nosy ass interest. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below.